Welcome to my very first little cozy weekend vlog. I'm gonna cut up some pumpkin for dinner because I've had the oven preheating for way longer than I should, and I need to get it on now because it's gonna take, I don't know, I never time things really when I cook them, especially not like veggies, but it's probably gonna take maybe 40 minutes, I suppose. I'll check on it. But I want to put it in the oven so it's cooking while I do some yoga. So I'm going to cut that up now. So tonight really is just going to be a super cozy reading night. It's been raining all day. It's actually been raining for the last 2 days, but it's just so cozy right now, and I have the house to myself. It's just me and the little furry critters running around somewhere, and I just want to get really cozy on the couch and read and have like a really nourishing dinner. Yeah, and just hunker down and read my book because it's so good, and I really need to know where it's going. I have no idea. I'll talk to you about the book that I'm reading later. But I have a couple of things that I want to do, obviously, before I sit down and read, and that I need to do. So, obviously, I need to make dinner. But I also want to go out and really quickly run it in the rain and cut some of my flowers because I wanted to do it a couple days ago, but it's been raining. So it looks like it's going to keep raining, I think, for the next few days. And even if it doesn't, I really need to cut them now because they're perfect to put in a vase. I actually probably would have liked them a little bit like a couple days ago when they're not quite as open, to give them even more time in a vase inside. But I think they'll be okay if I cut them tonight. And it'll be something really pretty to have around while I read tonight. So I'm going to brave the rain and do that. And the last thing before I read is that I'm going to do yoga, which I do every day, but I especially need to do before I'm going to be like on the couch or, sitting for any extended period of time. So I'm going to do yoga and a little bit of stretching as well. So I can really, once I'm on the couch and once I'm reading, I can really just enjoy and feel like I've earned it and feel like I've done my body some good before I'm gonna be sitting hunched over in a C shape for the rest of the night. And the whole night, I'm gonna be getting to hang out with these guys. There's Blueberry. And Max is over there too, and they're both just licking themselves. Just parallel play from across the room. So it's really, really cute. It's going to be really cute. And yeah, I've just got a nice, quiet, rainy night to myself at home. But actually, the first thing I do before anything is turn the fairy lights on. Turn the fairy lights on. I can't believe I've left it all day. On rainy days, I usually have them on all day, but fairy lights now.
Beautiful people open their mouths and smell like weird lunch. Open their bodies, acting like somebody. Beautiful martyrs, licking their angel figurines clean. Firework stars, popping their cans to simplicity. the chance to hide, and I wonder why they care about my fate. Living like a cave woman, ready for a day.
I love the breakfast, Alex. Thanks.
Now, to introduce you to the book that I'm going to be reading tonight. It's called The War of the Flowers by Tad Williams. And I found this, well, actually, more accurately, my boyfriend found this for me at an op shop, which is where we get, I'd say 80% of our books, 70 to 80%. And I love getting books at op shops because you'll find stuff that you've never heard of before. I've never seen this before, and I've never heard of this author. And I just feel like that doesn't happen as much at bookstores. And obviously, if you're buying books online, you have to know kind of what you're looking for, I suppose. Op shops are just excellent. It's like book roulette, you know? But obviously the only thing is that the quality of them is usually not great. So this one's cover's pretty beat up, and you know, the pages are all yellowed and stuff, but that's fine. So I have my beverage, my little homemade electrolyte concoction, which I think would be better with that other half of the orange added as well, but I didn't want that much sugar just before bed. Well, I say just before bed, I'm going to probably be reading for a few hours, but yeah, I wanted to try it with just half an orange, but it's quite nice. I should just get used to it. The green tea is quite strong in it, but it's nice. It's refreshing. Anyway, so I'm prepared with hydration, and I have my book. Now, this book, I'm nearly halfway, well, I'm probably just over a third of the way through, and it's not including like the index at the back, it's 675 pages. I'm really enjoying it so far. It started off quite, I guess, like gritty, like a bit dark and gritty and real. Like this guy was going through some quite serious, I guess, life events, some traumatic life events. And I was really enjoying it, but it was also a little bit heavy. So what I'm reading now, like where I'm at now, the tone's kind of changed, and it's got this mystery, a little bit more adventure, but mystery, and it's a little bit lighter, which I'm enjoying. But I didn't kind of expect it to take that turn. Try not to spoil it, because so far I do recommend this book, especially for anyone who likes, like, it's fantasy, but it's also set partly in the real world and partly in like fairyland, but it's kind of a modern fairyland. It's really interesting. It's quite entertaining, and there's some like fun characters. And for me, I really like that kind of like modern fairy tale vibe. I'm not very good at describing books with proper terms, like genre terms. I'm sure there's a genre for this. The thing that it kind of reminds me of is Tithe by Holly Black, which I read that book when I was maybe 12 or 13, and I loved that book. But it doesn't remind me in many ways. It's just, there's something about, like, I think that had sort of that dark, grungy, fairy vibe, and so does this. But in this, like, we've got a main character in it that's come up, and she's really fun and brings some, I guess, like, comedy to the book and some levity to the book, when I feel like it started off quite heavy and serious. But I also really liked the start as well. I was really enjoying Tad Williams' writing style, and I found it really easy to read. And also I was just getting into his writing style, which is quite different than the last book that I read, which was The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. So the second in the Mistborn trilogy. And yeah, I was going to read the third book, but then I thought I'll give this a go because it's a standalone, and I kind of want to draw that series out a bit more. I didn't want to just go into the third book. I kind of wanted to, like, I like the series. I have a few issues with it. I could talk about the Mistborn series, but I won't rant about it tonight. I like that series. I think that I have some issues with it. It's not perfect to me, but I like the books. But I needed a little bit of a break, and I have a bunch of other series I'm reading, and there was other books that I wanted to start, but they were part of series as well, so I didn't want to start them, like The Dark Tower by Stephen King. And what other series? I'm looking at my bookshelves. What other book was I going to read that was like the start of a new series? I don't remember. But instead of finishing one of my other series or starting a new one, I thought that I would just do a standalone book. I'm really interested to see where this is going to go. I kind of don't know at this point. It's like this guy from the real world, this human man, is somehow involved or part of, like, a significant part of this fairy war that might be starting. And he doesn't know that yet, and we don't know how he's involved or why. And yeah, I don't really know where it's going to go. But if I enjoy it, if I keep enjoying it like I have been, I really like this book. But I feel like it's long enough that, like, I have been let down by books in the past where, like, I've really enjoyed maybe the first half and then it's kind of not going anywhere. It's the pace of it is just kind of, there's nothing really happening. But I don't think that will be the case with this book. And also, like, I just really like this cover. I looked it up, and on Goodreads, there's a different cover. It's more of like a fantasy illustration. And I think I quite like this one more. I usually like the old school, like, I love, like, the 80s fantasy art and those kind of covers, but I quite like this one. I think it gives the feeling of the book really well. It's got, like, like that dark, surreal city vibe. It's quite magical, quite mysterious. And yeah, this cover really drew me in. So when my boyfriend found it at the op shop, I was like, that looks like me. I'm into it. And it hasn't disappointed me yet. So right now I'm on page 265. And I'm not a person who wants to, like, rush through books. I don't want to, I don't have a number of pages that I want to read tonight. I don't want to finish this. I don't have a time frame for when I want to finish things. And some weeks I'll read a lot more than other weeks. So some weeks, I would finish this book like in a week of just regular nightly reading. But I've already been reading this for a week and I'm only this far through. I just haven't been reading as much this week. But like I said, I think it kind of takes away one of the joys and the purposes of reading, which is to not rush, to really just go at your own pace and be absorbed in what you're reading and not rush on to the next thing. Just appreciate what you're reading now. So Blueberry's here. She looks like she's going to fall asleep and keep me company. And it doesn't look like she's about to go into feral attack mode anytime soon. It's raining outside. And I am so comfy and so excited to read my book. I've never knitted anything before, and it's something that I've started to buy supplies for, dabble in and delve into. But before I've even started my first project, I've got myself into a little bit of a pickle in that this was once this. Oh, isn't it beautiful? Gorgeous. Look at that. So neat, so beautiful. But it's become this. And I guess I didn't realize that because this is like this long tubey shape, it's not a ball of wool, like a standard ball that I guess you'd get at craft shops. It's more of this is hand dyed, so it's handmade. It needs to be unwound and then rewound into a ball, I think, before you start knitting with it. But I didn't know that, and I didn't look that up. I didn't even really think about it. So I knit this swatch for the very first knitting pattern that I want to do. But in the process, I was just pulling an end out of this, and it was working okay, but it wasn't coming out smoothly. And I sort of thought, okay, this might be a problem for later me. But I didn't quite realize what level of problem that it would become. So I've spent the last hour starting to unravel it, and I've got a little ball so far. So it feels like this is never going to end. I feel like that looks like the same amount of yarn that I started with, but a ball is forming, so progress is happening. So I don't know tonight if I want to start knitting, like learn the pattern, like start my very first knitting pattern, or if I want to do something else. Like I kind of feel like painting. I was really in the zone before when I was working on my collages, and I was thinking, well, maybe I could just sit down and work on those, because I haven't really felt that pull to sit at my desk at night. Like I haven't had the energy for quite a while. So because I feel like maybe I should do that. But I also kind of want to just start knitting already. So I don't know. Please enjoy the sounds of Max licking and the beautiful sights of our air fryer packaging box that we haven't thrown away because the cat likes playing with it. So it's now become part of the furniture. My journey with knitting so far started about a month and a half ago when I found a pattern that I wanted to knit for beginners, and I bought the yarn and I bought the needles and I did my first swatch, like the gauge swatch, and it turned out strange. So it's supposed to be 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, and mine came out 9 centimeters by 10 centimeters, which was a little confusing. And I thought maybe I would have to change my needle size. But I bought the needle size one size up, but I bought them in stainless steel. And the needles I knit this with were bamboo, and I really enjoyed using them, and I thought they knit quite well. I tried the stainless steel needles, and my swatch, like my knitting, it was horrible. It was so messy. They were so slippery. I just couldn't do it. And obviously I'm a beginner, so I know that there's a learning curve, and knitting as a whole is going to take a while to get used to, but the bamboo needles felt so much more natural to me. So I've decided, I think, after much, procrastination, because I kind of just, after that happened, I was like, oh, I'll have to order some more bamboo needles online and wait for them to come. And I kind of just procrastinated and put it off for a few weeks. But I want to start my first knitting project. So I think I'm actually going to knit the pattern up in the needles that I have, because it's 9 by 10 centimeters. That's close enough to me, I think. And maybe I'll go up a size. But all of this probably doesn't make any sense anyway, because I haven't told you what pattern I'm using. So I'm going to be knitting this pattern, this beautiful top by Kika, who has a YouTube channel, and I love her channel. And I really like how simple this top is. I'm thinking I'm going to make it slightly more cropped for summer, because it's the end of November, and in like a week or less, it's going to be summer. So I want to be able to wear it, possibly, It is, did I get wool? Yeah, so it's wool, it's not cotton, so it's going to be warmer than if I was knitting it in cotton, but because it's a crop top, I might be able to get away with it sometimes. And regardless, like maybe at the end of summer, it'll be a nice transition piece into autumn. So yeah, I don't know if I want to start that tonight. I'm kind of excited. Maybe I should. I have to measure myself because I haven't done that yet because I don't have a tape measure. But I realized I can measure myself with something like string or yarn, I guess, and hold it up against a ruler. So that's fine. So I got to measure myself. I might do that. And then I haven't even bought the pattern yet, so I'm going to buy the pattern and then figure out if I want to start knitting it tonight. Maybe I'll look over the pattern. And it has a YouTube video, follow along, knit along. So that'll be really handy. I've already watched that, so I kind of know what the pattern's about. But obviously I'm not knitting it in 2 colours, like stripes. I'm knitting it just in one. So if I start knitting it tonight, I'm also going to need to unwind this, like research how to do that and wind this into a ball. But first I'm going to measure myself and buy the pattern, and we'll see if I actually start knitting this tonight. But this is going to be more of a next few days kind of project. So this is going to sit here, not directly on my couch because I have a kitten, but close by. And when I'm watching TV or something, I'm going to slowly work on. Seriously. It's not been that bad to unravel, I have to say. It's just been a little fiddly and there's just so much of it. But it will happen. We will get there. But I really liked this yarn because I just thought it was like a really cute, even though I need to re-dye my hair. So this isn't necessarily a reflection of what my hair normally looks like because it's all faded and roots. But I just thought it was like a really cute colour, like with the hair colour I have at the moment. You know? Really pretty colour. Okay. Measuring, buying pattern. I really didn't think I was going to spend this much of this weekend making art, but I'm really happy that I did because I haven't in quite some time. I wouldn't call what I've been going through like a slump because I've still been, or like a creative block or anything, because I've still been making little things here and there and coming in here to just sort of dabble. But I haven't really been driven to create a lot of art lately or spend a lot of time on it. And I haven't been pushing myself. I've just been letting that be. So it's 12:35 p.m. and I've posted a new YouTube video, which is the one before this one, the repurposing my sketchbooks to make collages video. And in that video is a lot of footage of most of the art making that I did sort of in the last month, which isn't a lot for me. Obviously I didn't film everything, but it's not like a lot for me, but that's okay. This weekend has kind of shown me that I'm starting to feel more inspired again, and these things come in cycles, I think. So I think it's better to just not pressure yourself and the urge to create again comes back really strongly, and it comes back by itself. Like, not to jinx it, but I feel like it's coming back. The fact that I spent yesterday and today a decent chunk so far on my art, that's a good sign. So yeah, I posted the YouTube video, like I made the thumbnail, posted it, and I've just made a new blog post / newsletter because I use Substack, which is like a hybrid kind of platform. So when you do posts on there, people can sign up and they get the posts as like a newsletter straight to their email. So I did a post on there and I haven't done that in a few months. So that feels good. And it was nice because I have some really yummy photos that I've been taking of this collage process. And I really wanted to share them. I'm not using Instagram, and I haven't been for most of this year. Yeah, I think most of this year. But that means that like I just don't have anywhere to just sort of post photos like that. But I do, because that's what my Substack is for. So I'm excited to get back into doing that. And yeah, last night I didn't check back in with you again. I got really tired, so I just had a shower and got into bed and read for the rest of the night. And the rest of the night was probably 45 minutes before I fell asleep. Reading in bed makes me so sleepy, but it's obviously the best place to read, you know. But yeah, so I didn't read for that long. I fell asleep. But I've read about 100 pages. I read a little bit this morning, a bit last night, and then obviously the night before when I was talking to you about my book. And it's going really good. I'm still really enjoying it. There's been a couple there's been at least a big event that's happened, and then like a little revelation, and you know, stuff is happening. And I'm still really enjoying it. I'm hoping to read a bit more this afternoon and tonight. Anyway, what do I want to do with the rest of the day? I know that I want to / need to get out in the garden, and it's the first sunny day, but because it's actually the first day of summer. It's the 1st of December. So it's quite, like it's overcast, but it's still hot and the sun's quite strong. So I'm not going to go out there now because it's like midday and the sun's I don't like being out in the sun during the hottest parts of the day. So I need to go to Bunnings and get a few things, and I really need to get out in my garden this afternoon, but I think I'll do that maybe at about 3 when the sun's not so crazy. Yeah, gardening is really the only thing that I kind of need to do today. There are some things out there that are going really good, but there's also some things that I need to tend to. And I want to do that as soon as possible. I wish I did it before it was raining for the last few days, but doing it now is fine. I've noticed that some things have really sprouted up after this rain, which is really fun, and I can't wait to show you. But I think I'm just feeling like making more art. I didn't realise this vlog was going to turn into such an art-heavy vlog, but I think what I'm going to do is that because I filmed a lot of art-making footage, but I think I'm going to make a separate video of that, because I got quite a lot of footage for that, but I've just include a little bit here. So if you want to, and if you like watching more just really art-focused videos, you can go and watch that, and I'll have posted that probably after this video, maybe before, but I'd say after. So you can watch that at some point, because otherwise this vlog is going to be so long if I included all of that.